Hello and welcome to the BWIO show. Today I'm here with Shea, also known as Peaceful Praise, and I'm so excited to be talking with Shea about meditation and sacred geometry. Shea is a wonderful prayer warrior, a talented and intellectual woman, and I know that you're going to learn a lot from her today. So Shea, can you start off by telling us about yourself?
Oh, thank you. It is such a pleasure to be here. I love what you're doing. I love what you're doing for all of the singers, for the community, so that they can learn more about opera from a historical perspective as well as a now perspective. So my name is Shea. I'm known as Peaceful Praise, and I do several things, but everything is connected with me trying to help transform the lives of individuals, helping them to expand their consciousness so they can be a better version of themselves, and really help the world to move to another beautiful place.
Oh, that's amazing. So how do you think that meditation can help opera singers?
Well, meditation, so prayer and meditation are very important to me, and they are actually ancient technology that existed way before religions existed. In fact, I like to say that religions co-opted those technologies. And so, some people feel as though prayer is difficult for them to reach as well as meditation, but it's really a part of us. It's part of our roots. I mean, when we were in the womb, we were basically in a meditative state. So we can always get back to that state. One thing about meditation is it allows you to reach a peace that is within you, and that peace helps to bring about answers for questions that you have. It will help you map out your life. It's just another tool that we can use so that we can, again, be better versions of ourselves. So your music will be uplifted when you start to use meditation.
Right. I know Mahalia Jackson is one of my favorite singers. And in this interview with Della Reese, she was talking about how Mahalia Jackson, before she even got on stage, every time she would just like put her face to the wall and just pray that she would be a vessel and people would see God through her and things like that. So I think that that's definitely one thing that made her, like, her talent just astronomical. And her connection with people even now so strong is because she took that time before every performance to really get her mind together, meditate, and figure out what her why was.
Exactly. And that, I call that going within. So, some people say that prayer is talking to God, talking to a higher power, talking to that, the I am presence that's within each and every one of us. And that meditation is actually listening. I think there's other definitions for prayer and meditation, but I love those two because meditation for some people feels like it's not active participation, but it's very much active participation. It's sacred listening to everything within you and to the power that's around you, and really to tap into what the people that are listening to you really need and what they want. So being able to take that time before you go out and express through you in a magnificent way, through some words, like Mahalia Jackson said, work through me, work through me. It's through me and as me. And in that little quiet time, right, probably very quickly in your mind, you remember to breathe, remember to smile, remember to have that presence, all the things that you need, they just kind of come very quickly. And then you can take that next breath and walk out on stage and do your thing.
Yes, I love that. I love that. So can you tell me a little bit about sacred geometry and how you got?
Oh, that's dear to my heart, sacred geometry. So sacred geometry is, well, you know what? I don't really know what the actual definition is in a dictionary. The things I've learned about sacred geometry has come to me through my own prayer and meditation time, brought to me, thank goodness, from my ancestors and the global and universal ancestors, as well as my guides. But I believe what you would probably find in a dictionary is that sacred geometry are different geometric patterns that are shown throughout different structures in history as well as in nature. Uh, Here I have two items with me. You know, we love our crystals.
Yeah.
So I have two crystal pyramids. Most people are familiar with pyramids, and these are actually sacred geometric patterns. They're sacred geometry. And most people realize that pyramids are very, 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 very powerful. I have some other goodies with me. Um, this is a small version of what's called the flower of life. I don't know if you can see that, the light. And here's a larger version that I have. And this pattern, especially in the middle, most of you have probably seen over and over and over again. It's in a lot of nature. For example, a sunflower, the middle of the sunflower looks very much like this. You will see this pattern literally etched into structures in Egypt, ancient structures in cathedrals in Europe. You'll see this structure even in modern day patterns on different wallpaper patterns, patterns of flooring. It may not look exactly this way, but it's weaved in. This pattern is literally throughout all of our lives. And then there's other sacred geometric patterns that are weaved into our lives. So these patterns are very powerful. And in fact, I'm just going to keep holding this, so that it can infuse its knowledge within whoever's looking at this program. But what some people do say is that, God, or the all there ever was, the all there is, the all there will ever be, right? That energy was like a circle, right? Like a circle. And that as it wanted to basically get to know itself in a new way, it expanded. And as it expanded, it didn't get bigger and bigger and bigger like this. It duplicated itself into additional circles. And then those circles superimposed on each other and went from this one circle called the seed of life into the flower of life. And if you ever look at a sperm and an egg when they connect to create a fetus, first it is a circle, then it starts to expand, and it expands in this molecular way that's all these little circles embedded on each other and infused with each other. So this pattern is a part of us. It's how we came into being, and it's within us. So, connecting to these different patterns allows us to connect with ourselves in a deeper way and allow the birthing of, the beautiful gifts within us to come forth.
Okay, I love that. I love that. It's something that we see a lot, like we just don't realize. I feel like every time I talk with you, Shea, even when I first met you, you always were pointing out these different shapes and geometric configurations and just talking about what they can kind of give to you every time. And I feel like we naturally notice them. We're naturally drawn to them when you're talking about modern patterns and things that that we are drawn to now, like that represent what it means to be awakened or fresh. It all relates back to those, those geometric shapes and the configuration of them and how they make you feel. So when you see new shapes and things like that, if someone is like kind of drawn to geometry in that sense, like how do you interact with it? What do you seek to learn from it?
Well, so I think we all are drawn to different patterns. We may not realize it, right? But the more you walk in a more conscious way in life, you start to see the synchronicities and the repeating patterns in your life. And believe me, if you're seeing things often, for example, sometimes we see numbers often, certain numbers over and over again. You might see 333, 323, 99. Those are also patterns. They're just numeral patterns, numeral patterns, as opposed to graphic patterns, just like colors are patterns as well. These things are all connected, and they are actually trying to inform you. So with sacred geometry, I think meditating by just looking at those patterns, just taking some time looking at those patterns, connecting to them, breathing. One of the lovely exercises that I like to use in meditation is I like to use pyramids, because pyramids, again, are very familiar to people. And so as a singer, right, one thing that you can do to strengthen your voice and to strengthen your presence and access, a deeper level of your expression of singing, is to use this type of structure and type of image to help you in meditation. So one thing that I like to tell people is if you have an actual pyramid to look at the pyramid, and then begin breathing, something that all singers do, right? You have breathing exercises. Well, now we're going to connect this to meditation. So you take a breath in, a slow breath in, and you hold it. And then you take a slow breath out. Hold it for a minute. Another slow breath in. Hold it. Slow breath out. And so you continue to do this breathing while you're looking at this pyramid. And then if you want, you can close your eyes and allow yourself to now activate your intuitive senses, right? These are not just the earthly five senses, but the senses we have beyond that, the senses that are part of us, that seeing when our eyes are closed, that hearing when we're really not thinking of hearing, right, on another level. And so allow yourself to use those senses in your imagination such that now you are in the center of that pyramid. Now, some people are good at visualizing. Some people aren't good at visualizing. So just feel the pyramid around you. Again, you're using all of your intuitive senses. And as you're in this pyramid, right, see yourself floating. You let the energy of the pyramid just soothe you. And then allow some beautiful colors to begin swirling around you. I personally love lavender, which is the color of an amethyst crystal, because I find that to be very peaceful. But allow the color that speaks to you to begin swirling around you while you're in this pyramid. And then while you're in the pyramid, you can place 3 words that will help you to feel more empowered in your singing and in your presence and in your expression of the beautiful, great love that's coming through your voice. It may be power, it may be strength, it may be confidence, it may be joy, it may be depth, it may be health, right? Whatever words soothe you. And actually, while you're in this pyramid, allow yourself to hear your voice without even moving your mouth. Hear those beautiful operatic tones that are for you. And let them heal you in any way, shape, or form. Again, you're still breathing. And then when you feel complete, you can thank yourself, you can thank the pyramid, and then you can just come back into the space. So that's one way that you can use sacred geometry. And of course, you can meditate without the geometry, but I believe that from my own experience, it's not just some beliefs. This is from my own, everything I'm sharing is what I've experienced myself. Right. And what I've found is it's been able to take me to more expansiveness and more deeper levels, such that I can show up in a new way, in a new way.
Yes, and I love that, because I feel like once you know yourself a little bit more and you are in tune with yourself a lot more, your voice can shine, and what you can give to the audience will shine through. I know I was in another episode with an opera singer, and I just asked her, like, opera like gives you so much. There are certain notes that you have to sing, you have to act, and you have their stage directions. You have other people to consider. There's so much other things that are going on that you can kind of get lost in what everybody else wants you to consider. And I feel like having a stronger sense of self makes you just a more just able to shine through the work so much more and able to connect so much more with the audience and why you love the art yourself.
I think I'm glad you brought up that point, because I think that's very important, right? As a, an opera singer is not just a singer, right? You're a singer, you're an actor, you're an artist that I mean, heck, at times you're a dancer. I mean, maybe not in the traditional dance, but the movements on stage, right, have to flow like a dancer. So you become what some might call a jack of all trades. And in doing that, right, you're taking direction not just from the stage choreography, right, from the choreographer. I'm sure that's not actually their title, but since we're talking about dance, I'm using that title on purpose, as well as the musical direction, right, and as well as the singing direction. So you're kind of in that world taking on the vision of someone else. However, you have to bring your special gift to that stage. And being able to, again, use meditation and use sacred geometry such that you can get into a space where you really do know you. You know you. And so you can take that direction, but still bring your special shine to it. And your special shine is different than the person next to you. And as you allow that to come through, then you're lighting up the stage like you've never lit up the stage before. And the audience, they're gonna be attracted to your shine. It's not so much the movements anymore, right? You talked about Mahalia Jackson earlier. I mean, people still, right? People who were not connected to her music in any way, historically, they still love her because she had a special shine. When she sung, it like touched your soul, So again, using these tools, these wellness tools, not only help you in everyday life, but again, it just takes you to another level in what you're trying to do in the world of, opera.
Yeah, and I love how like people love like Leontine Price, and I think that she had that same quality to bring her special shine through anything that was going on. So when we're watching Aida, we see the vision of everyone else, but we see like Miss Price coming through, shining through that, and that's what draws us to her over and over and over again. And I love how you were talking about the vision. Like sometimes we can get lost in so many different people's visions. And in opera is a very, very, very it can be a very, very racist environment. And so many people who have visions for what opera can look like, those visions don't include Black people a lot of the times. And when we're placed in somebody else's vision, especially when a vision that can be oppressive, and can be a vision that does not see you in your full self, like bringing your own shine as a Black person, as a Black opera singer, is going to be so important, especially going forth in the industry that is seeking to change, because you have to have that shine. You're not just here. You're a Black person that is here. You have your own experience that is here. You are a unique individual. And I think bringing your own shine to the stage and bringing your own experiences and valuing those things will just continue to set you apart and make you even more of a leader in the field.
Without a doubt. And I love that you bring all of this up, right? I mean, this is happening now. Right? This is literally happening now. So, opera singers need to be prepared for not just the way you used to go to auditions, but literally not dimming your light, not dimming who you are, not actually separating it, right? We as Black people and we as Black women, right, specifically, we've learned, right, whether we think so or not, right, because of the institutional racism and systemic racism within not just this country, but within the world, we've learned very much how to separate ourselves into pieces, and not just two pieces, right? Multiple pieces, so that sometimes we show up in what either we think or what we know, what we've learned is the vision of someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we must, we must follow the directions, right? I mean, we're part of a cast. We're not an individual. Well, unless we're Leah Price coming out on stage by herself, barely even moving, but got you up in your seat like, work it out, Ms. Price, right? but when you're in an opera with others, you're part of a cast. And again, as we talked about, you're performing another person's vision. Mm-hmm. But now we're being called to a higher order of ourselves, which is why we're even talking about meditation and sacred geometry, such that we can now fuse back those parts of us. And so we can show up as us, We can still blend in with the cast, right? Which I'm going to call a unity consciousness, right? We can have that unity consciousness on stage. We can bring about the visions of others. We can engage with the audience such that they feel fulfilled from, their space of information, right? But yet we can bring ourselves to deepen this conversation, which they might not even realize they're having.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're bringing more of you, the true you, to the stage. And so we're at a place and time where we're really getting to know ourselves. I like that phrase, in a new way. And this is all of us. Make no mistake, it doesn't matter what our skin color is, what our ethnic background is. We are all being called to not only learn ourselves in a new way, but to walk in a new way.
Right.
But as Black women, right, mm-hmm. we can access the ancient technology that is birthed, right, from our ancestral heritage. Right? And even if we don't necessarily comprehend it, the engaging with these ancient technologies of prayer and meditation, whether you even access sacred geometry or not, it's giving you access to parts of you they're parts of your DNA. Right. And they will help you express and show up in ways you haven't imagined. You will hit notes you never hit before, right? Because they're being informed by this ancestral lineage that lives in you. It's just giving you access to it where you may not have accessed it before because of how we've had to separate ourselves.
Right. That was a powerful word. So thank you so much for coming. And I have a question for you. If you could write an opera, what would it be about?
Wow. Okay. So I don't know if I could write an opera, but I could conceive one for someone else to write. Yeah. My first thought is about Nefertiti. Mm-hmm. However, I think what really would be beneficial is to have an opera mm-hmm. Written by and primarily for Black people. Mm-hmm. And one that shows us an ancient time where we utilized rituals, mm-hmm. prayer and meditation in a way to strengthen our communities, right. and strengthen ourselves. And, I'm not, people might hear the word ritual and think, oh. Look, prayer is a ritual. When you light a candle, that's a ritual. Mm-hmm. There's lots of things in our Christian churches that are rituals. Yeah. You take communion, that's a ritual, mm-hmm. right? So I'm not talking about like some scary, spooky. I'm just saying that we, throughout our culture now, rituals are intertwined. We just don't see them as that. Right. And I think it would be beautiful to have an opera that shows, some of the rituals that, even ones that have existed through time, or ones that we've kind of lost connection with.
Right.
And I'm saying it in terms of Black women. I think it would also be beautiful to see an opera specific to Native nations in this country, like Native Americans as well.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
And well, I don't think it's ever been done. Now, I'm not an aficionado of opera, although I love opera, but I don't think either of those have been done. But I don't even think there's an opera about the, an indigenous, Native American or Native Canadian,
Right.
nation. I could be incorrect, but there's not one I know of.
Yeah, I think there's an opera, a new, like literally last year, brand new opera that is kind of about the foundings of America. And they use different elements of indigenous culture, but I'm not sure to what extent it is, but I'll definitely look it up.
Oh, please do, and please tell me. Please correct me, because I would love if that was the case. I would love that.
Interesting. Well, thank you so much, Shea. Where can people find you?
Well, I'm going to let you know where they can find me, and then I actually have a question for you.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to turn the tables here. So again, my name is Shea, like Shea Butter, SHEA, aka Peaceful Praise. You can find me on my website at peacefulpraise.com. That's peacefulpraise.com. And then I'm active on Instagram and Facebook at Peaceful Praise Inspirational. That's Peaceful Praise Inspirational. Please come hang out with me. Check out some of the things I'm doing. And if I can be helpful in any way, shape, or form, please reach out to me, please. So now I have a question for you.
Okay.
Okay. Because you, as one of the people who I respect very much and love what you're doing, not just in this space, but the others I've seen you in, I'd like to know, how has meditation helped you develop your singing and just your presence?
So Shay and I met in Sedona at the Mago retreat with a previous BWIO guest, Sonia Marie. She hosts like a retreat that's based in astrology and meditation and things like that. So we met there, and last year, another BWIO guest. Sedona, Mago sisters, we be really riding. Her name was Monica Harris, and we were talking about our charts, like in astrology, and she was like, yeah, you come in this world you're a singer to heal or something like that. So there are different types of singers, and Monica can really, really go into that based off of your astrology. And she was like, yeah, before you get on stage, you need to be setting your intentions of what you want to take from this experience, what you want to give to the audience in this experience. And that really, really has helped me just kind of hone in on what I'm trying to do. So there's hours of preparation, hours of getting quiet and listening to different types of music, and just kind of figuring out what's going on in here. Because as a singer, it's like music all the time. I wake up singing in my head, and it's like kind of hard to get to that quiet space. But like setting my attention before I have to sing something, like, okay, I want people to feel joy this time. I want people to feel healed, or I want people to feel safe, or I want to feel some peace this time that I'm singing. It really just helps me to focus. Like, if this is my goal, this is what's going to happen when I do it. Because I believe that, whatever I say, whatever I'm praying for, is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So helping me meditate just helps me to stay a lot more focused and be at peace with my voice. And with I guess Brandy Sutton, she was talking about like God gave her this voice of how can she say no to anybody. It's like, okay, so releasing the fact that God gave me this voice, or releasing the fact that the voice is mine to have and more like mine to share and give, really just made me even more intentional about why I'm singing and what I'm doing. Because I'm not just drawn to singing because I can sing. There's plenty of people who can sing, and there's plenty of people who can sing better than me. But I have a gift that I have to share, and it has grown so much because I'm more intentional about what my gift is and what the purpose of my gift is in this world. So that's how it has helped me.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So you didn't quite say it this way, but what I heard is, use me, God, or God, show me how to be in service, and
Yeah.
that your intention actually kind of reflects all of that. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Because that's what I do naturally. With anything I do, I'm trying to figure out how do I help people and serve people, and it makes sense to bring that kind of astrology based learning to the voice and sharing it with others.
That's fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for being willing to answer my question.
No, it's no problem. It's a good question.
Well, again, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what other things will be moving through this beautiful space that you've created and that you're holding and that you're uplifting for many, many people. So, and all these people you're bringing together, I can't wait to see the opera you guys put together.
Yes. Oh, yes. It's gonna be good.
Mhm.
Thank you.